Best story I ever heard was a guy named Kevin something. Dear friend of mine, I forget his last name. He used to be the vet on one of those channels where they save cats and shit. Kevin Fitzgerald.
Okay.
He's good friends with Joe, too.
Okay.
If I show you this guy, you'll go, Joey, what the fuck are you talking about? That's one of the most dangerous men you'll ever see in your life. He was a bodyguard for the Stones when he came back from Vietnam. The guy's a fucking savage. Kevin Fitzgerald is a comic. That's how I met Kevin in Denver. He has a great story that he was doing a joke one night about this is your brain on drugs, this is your brain. And what's the greatest stand-up of all time?
Who's your partner?
Hicks, Bill Hicks' manager, road manager was there because Bill Hicks was performing that night, and he walked up to Kevin and he goes, hey, Mr. Hicks would appreciate it if you didn't do that joke before him. Kevin said he went in the back and thought about it, and he goes, nobody could tell me not to do a joke. And he went up there and did the joke, and the guy went up to Kevin, was waiting for Kevin. Kevin's a tough dude. And this guy tried to be cute with Kevin. He's like, I told you not to do the joke. Kevin goes, shut the fuck up. Bill Hicks heard the argument. Bill came out. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. We got no beef here. I told you to do something. You didn't do it. As a matter of fact, comics don't listen. You're my new opening act. And he brought him on the road.
Oh.
We don't listen. You tell me not to do something as a comic, games are over. Don't ever tell me to work clean, because I'm going to go up there with the biggest pussy joke you've ever heard in your motherfucking life. And that's why I didn't play those games in L.A. Bro, for years, you know how you have to send a tape?
Yeah.
I sent blank tapes. And love when they call me back and say, your set was tremendous.
Oh, was it?
Because when you get paid, at the end of the night, you're looking at a comedy club owner, he's sitting in front of 1,200 tapes, and all of them got dust on it.
Yeah.
He don't watch the tapes. It was a power play.
Yeah.
You send the tape, and then we'll give you, fuck you. I'm not sending the tape. And then when they kept bugging me, I go, okay. I started sending blank tapes. As a matter of fact, the great and wise Chelsea Handler sent the tape of herself having sex at one point before Montreal.
No.
Yes, she did.
Did she get Montreal?
Yes, she did.
Hell yeah.
Tape?
On a washer-dryer machine. We don't do what they tell you. We do what the fuck we want to do.
Yeah.
That's Mitchie Shore's school of comedy. That's Pryor. That's Hicks. That mental, Kennison. That mental, that's what the store had to offer you. The Improv, Improv is a great club. I worked them a lot. I did a lot of great work for them. But that external image, that's what the store was. The store was for people who didn't play around. A lot of people don't like going to the store. And when I was going there, bro, fucking Tupac had a shootout at the Comedy Store. How cool is that?
Oh, I didn't know
There's still a bullet on the wall from when Tupac had a shootout
Really?
at the fucking Comedy Store. What's going to happen at the Improv with all those fucking Gentiles? On each other. This is great. That's not gonna, the store was for rough motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, and I always said, like, listen, bro, let's figure it out. You go to the Improv and Laugh Factory when you're looking for a funny fucking comic. When you want somebody to fucking push your show to the next level, you go to the store. Those are the Marines of the fucking LA. At least they were. I don't know what's going on now. Listen, I'm not proud of half the shit I did, but the shit I'm proud of was I was part of a Marine one time. I was part of the comedy fucking Marines, okay? Well, we don't take shit. We go up there when it's dark, people are puking, all that little bullshit that they talk about now that they don't do, that's what we did, you know? And it's funny, I met Rogan at that thing. But when Rogan first got to the store, one of the first times I met him, he was getting into a fight with another comic. I mean, it was a rough fucking club.
Yeah.
The guy threw a bottle at Joe or something. You gotta ask him. The guy threatened Joe with a bottle. I got a bottle back here. He was a comic. It was a different, the Comedy Store was not for everybody. The Comedy Store was not for everybody. You know, for years, I was telling Joe, we should stab Carlos Mencia at this Comedy Store. What do you mean go off on him in front of people? They have those little mazes in the middle. Remember Scarface for the friend you fucked? With the fire? That's a Comedy Store. You can stab somebody at the Comedy Store. They wouldn't know a fucking thing about it. They wouldn't know a thing about it.
So Joe was always like, no, we shouldn't do that? Huh? He was like, that's a bad idea, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's a nice guy. Yeah. You know? Joe's a nice person. But that's what it, you know, it took me, I got to the store in 97, and it was the dark ages, man.
Yeah.
Where you had to follow Eddie Griffin, Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Paul Mooney. That's the best education a motherfucker could ever get. If you don't believe me, go buy the album Race Today by Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
You know, that's the education. I used to see Paul Mooney come in with Elizabeth Taylor. Paul Mooney would come in with Elizabeth Taylor.
Son,
White
Fuck yeah.
who loves white women more than the black guy who hates white men?
And he's gay. He was gay. God
Yeah,
bless
he was a
his
little
soul.
sweet. That's
No,
probably
that
why he
was the
liked
thing.
Elizabeth.
I love Paul Mooney.
Yeah. Yo, Paul was
and
fantastic.
then I would have to
stand-up.
follow him
Yeah.
to 3 people.
Who was the toughest follow?
Dom Herrera and me and Joe always have this conversation. There's a brother that had dreads. He came up, he's from Cleveland. He came up with Steve Harvey. Woo! He was white. He was clean. Woo! You were in for a fucking long night.
Really?
I still remember Mitzi would make me follow Dom Herrera. I would just
Dom would
cry.
just tear the fucking roof.
I would cry on the drive down there because why would you want to go somewhere to get shot? You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever drives themselves to go get shot.
Yeah,
And that's what I had to do every fucking Saturday night.
Yeah.
Go down there and get shot. The main room, forget it. I never had the main room. My first 10 years at that store, I couldn't get a fucking giggle in that fucking main room.
Really?
And I would tell her, don't put me in the main room because I'm going to eat shit. What would she do?
Put you in the motherfucking
Put you in the motherfucking
That's
main
so
room.
fucking cool that she did that though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
The
like
Makes
best-
you grow over the bottom line. Because that affects her show. That affects her business.
Yeah.
The way customers walk out of there. And she was like, nah, but I got to make him grow.
Dog, you don't want to date somebody at the comedy store. You know why? Because if you break up with that person, you're going to be following that person for a year if she finds out.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to make you follow her just to fuck with you.
Oh, so she liked the drama. She
Yes.
thought that it made good content,
Yes.
good comedy.
It makes, listen,
It was like the first YouTube house or whatever the fuck you call those TikTok
something we
houses.
didn't touch here, and I'm happy we didn't, was I have a daughter that's 32 and we don't talk.
Yeah.
She's from my first marriage. I think most of the OG in my comedy was because what I did on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I used to have her from 2 to 7, and her mother and her fucking boyfriend would abuse me. And they knew I had the 2 felonies. So they would abuse me even more because they had me by the balls. So all I could do at that time is cry, which I did. After I would give my daughter to them, I would get in my car and just cry. Not ashamed to say it. I would just bawl because I strived to be a man, and these people were walking all over me, okay? And I would smoke a joint, but I became a comic when I forced myself to do comedy.
After that, yeah.
The first 4 or 5 weeks, I would just go home and cry, and I need to snort coke like a pussy. But then I was like, I got to work off this. So for the next 8 months, I would force myself to do comedy after I fucking dropped her off.
Wow.
And then it reminded me of 5 years ago when I'm on a plane headed to go fucking do a gig. And as I get off the plane, I got a thing that says Brody Stevens died. And now I got to go entertain 3,000 people in a casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So all those little things come back to help you later, even though they don't as a comic. But I forced myself into dark material. I love Joe. And you know why Joe became a good comic? Because he was the guy that went after the strongest guy in the room every night.
Yeah.
He would ask for it. Where most people would go, I don't want to follow
Yeah, they
Diaz.
want the easy way
I don't
out.
want
They
to follow
want the
Andrew
layup.
Schultz. Joe would take me on the road and tell me, I want you to be as dirty and as fucking buck wild as you can
Beat
be.
'em up.
And I want to go up there. And he would struggle for 10 minutes. Then it got down to struggle for 9 minutes. Then
Yeah.
you struggle 8 minutes,
Yeah.
4 minutes. You know, before I left the store, one of the hardest guys to follow was Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
His energy, and I would, you know, that's the guy I would say put me up behind,
Really?
you know, because you want to test yourself.
Yeah.
Anybody could be the king. Why be the king, you know?
Yeah.
Go in there and I would go up behind Ali Wong. I love following
Allie's
her.
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I love following her because
Yeah.
I would go up there and say something perverted to her act.
Yeah.
It was like stealing, you know. It was like stealing. It's like fucking, she's just setting this up for me, you know.
Yeah, it was a fascinating time.